said the same thing. You're not gonna
Call to order the Paintsville City Council regular meeting Monday, February 12th, 2018. Coach, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Tim. Here. Sean.
Here.
Patricia. Here. Bo.
Here.
Sarah. Here. David.
Here. I got just a couple of announcements. Miss Bonnie, our Main Street Director, is doing somewhat better. So hopefully the prayers you've been sending out has been helping some, so let's continue to do that. Also, let's make sure that we send out some prayers for our shooting victims over the weekend to all their families. It was a sad situation. To be honest with you, should have never happened. So our hopes and our prayers go out to those families. Carter Lane project, we are in the process of acquisition of properties. I might add that Miss Kim has worked extremely hard, and we are moving along pretty well with it, and that's all I can give you at this time. If you have any questions, I'm sure Miss Kim, if you want to come down to the office, can answer those for you. And that's all the announcements I have at this time. If any of the council's got anything they would like to announce. With that being said, could I have approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of January the 8th?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? Approval of the departmental reports, please.
Make said motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Approval to pay bills as presented.
That's yours.
I'm so moved.
I second
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to business, we need to approve the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission on behalf of James and Belinda Maggard, and that is a property on 2nd Street. And that was a approval to move that property from an R3 to a C3, and it was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Make a motion we approve their request.
I do too. Why would you have one if you didn't?
I just wanted to ask one question about it. I don't have any problem with it. Is it going to be, how I read it was a covered enclosure? Is that what they're going to do, cover the parking lot, or are they going to make it into something else? That's the only thing I didn't know. Is it just for covered parking? Is that what it's for?
Miss Belinda is here and she
Oh,
can answer
good,
that
that's what I was
question.
asking.
Our intention is to do storage, parking, some kind of combination, but until we know what size of usable lot we have, what the setbacks would be, we can't really draw up any plans or anything. But we would do it very nicely. It would be well lit. We would make sure there's only certain hours that people can access it, you know, and try to do it very nicely like we've done all in Davis Street with all our storage, so.
No, that's the same parking. That's right there where, across from the Balloon Center.
Yeah, it's been a parking lot since 1970.
Right, that mother used it when she worked at,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's where it was.
Okay.
So,
We have a motion and a second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Josh Johnson is here to give you some information on what he wants to do as far as the creation of Paintsville Motorsports.
So I had a meeting with Mr. Mayor. There are two gentlemen from Prestonsburg that are interested in starting to utilize the airport. They've done the arm drop races a couple years ago, and they're wanting to get back into that. From my understanding, Prestonsburg is no longer wanting to be involved, correct?
That's correct.
So this is an opportunity for Paintsville, since it is in Johnson County. Those gentlemen are willing to eat all the expense, cover the insurance, the liability portion, but this will be something that we can do. Again, you know, there are certain people that like drag racing, and it does bring in a lot of people. From a tourism standpoint, it would bring people to town. Potentially they would stay all night, and of course they're going to eat while they're here. But in order to do that, we need to create a separate board just for the airport, because we've got to keep that funding separate. We can't mix that with taxpayer money. So that's why I'm here. We need to create, and the mayor thought of Paintsville Motorsports, and it's catchy and I like it. So we just need a motion to create Paintsville Motorsports, to where we can create this board to where we can keep all the money separate, and we can start utilizing that. They told me they would like to have 3 to 4 races a year. And it is a moneymaker for us. We're not going to be at any expense. We could even rotate out and let different groups do concessions each race, because I know the schools like to fundraise and raise money. We could rotate that out, charge admission. So it would be something different, because I do know this area is kind of saturated. And when they done the arm bar a couple of years ago, it was packed. So
So I guess my first question is, yeah, you could have this enterprise, why isn't Floyd County or Prestonsburg doing it? You know, I guess in my mind, it's kind of a little bit of a red flag. Why wouldn't they want what you're suggesting, you know, in terms of the revenue?
well, I didn't have the conversation. Did you talk with Les?
I talked with the mayor, yes I did. I think all Josh is wanting us to do is to give him permission to start the process. We don't need to vote on the creation of a Paintsville Motorsports tonight, but what we need to do is to give him the okay to start the process and the paperwork of starting a board to create a Paintsville Motorsports.
So isn't there already an airport board?
Yes,
up
there
there?
is.
Okay.
Have
There
they
is.
approved this?
No, they have not.
Well, I think that's where you have to start.
I mean, if
They-
you need some kind of approval just to start the
No,
process.
Yes, that's all
Okay.
Josh is asking for, is an approval to start, so we can start the
Because
process.
this will be a month's thing. It's not something we can do overnight.
Okay.
Well, Josh, I mean, they're over us, I think, as far as it's their board. It would have to go through them before it came to us, I would
Start
think.
the
Well,
process and I say.
Both cities jointly own that. So, you know, Prestonsburg and Paintsville together have that airport. It's 43 acres.
So you're saying you can't go to the board until you
Start the
have,
process.
We need to be able to be okay to start the process so that I can go. I know a few of them on the airport board. And we're actually supposed to have a couple of Johnson County representatives.
Since it's in Johnson County.
So, basically, I just need an okay to start the process so we can try to move
Mayor,
forward.
you already have it, first and second.
Okay, just to start the process.
Yes.
Because what we'll have to do is make sure that they're on board to start with, and then we'll have to go through legal counsel to make sure that we're doing things the right way. So all we want to do right now is to vote on starting the process. And we got a first and a second.
Patricia made the motion and I seconded it.
All in favor? Opposed? And Josh has also got the discussion of the Stafford House.
So, I know that's a sore subject. So I've tried to weigh out the pros and cons. This is where I stand at this point. From the tourism standpoint, the Stafford House is a great asset, but we live in a time nowadays to where people are not really planning vacations per se to come and tour a historic home. And there are limited things that we can do, so, you know, obviously the Stafford House really serves us no purpose anymore, but to somebody it could. It's not as easy as just saying, okay, we'll sell it. Obviously you all know that. I personally, and I talked with the mayor about this, I just need something from the city of Paintsville, because it is together with tourism. to have in writing that it is okay to move forward with setting a reserve and doing a sealed bids, just to throw it out there to see if somebody would want to buy it. Obviously, we could set a reserve at whatever we owe on it.
I thought where is the historical,
Yeah, you can sell it. Why couldn't you sell it?
Just a terrible.
no, I just
Yeah,
thought, we
but
went through there one time.
Yeah, we couldn't put the courthouse there because it was a historic site.
You have to surplus.
Yeah, and that was.
You have to
rumored.
surplus
You
it.
could,
You have to have a determination that it's surplus property, and then go through the publication process to get bids, advertise for bids, just like you're buying something.
Just like
To get
anything for state.
So what would have to come from the council would be a determination that the property is surplus and no longer effective or necessary for city government, and then you go through the whole process of getting rid of surplus property. But it has to come from the council.
So it is owned by the city of Paintsville, lock, stock.
yeah.
I love tourism.
It's owned by the city, but tourism's making the payments, correct?
Yes.
The loan is in Paintsville Tourism's name. The deed and the home is in the city of Paintsville.
Yeah.
City owns property.
We got it.
Yeah.
So we can't send out, you're suggesting that we can't send out feelers or make any kind of, you know, hey,
It's like any property, I mean,
but we have to declare it as surplus property, and once we declare it as surplus property, then we'd have to do something with it.
it's like, you don't have to take,
Then
you don't have to accept the
Any
bids
bid.
that
Yeah,
are
but then
that's
it's
submitted and presented.
just
You don't
like
have to
putting a
accept it.
car on there.
Yeah, just like a car, it's like any surplus property that's for sale.
Okay, so what do we need to vote on then? Just
Declaring it surplus property.
It's the city council wants to declare it surplus property, and then go about advertising for bids to sell it. That's something you can do.
What did we pay for that?
It is, but I hate it.
some thousand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm telling you,
You're not gonna get that back out of it.
So I need a motion and a second for the city, for the council to determine the property is surplus so that we can, if that's,
Is there anything else we can do? Is there's no other options? That's the only one we've got right now?
Well, then this is just, okay, then it's not gonna have anything to do with tourism selling, it's gonna be us.
That's
well, yeah, it belongs to us, but we have tourism making the payment for it.
So far.
Yeah, I know we're into that somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's any indication, we still owe $171,000 on it.
Well, that was good news. Thank you.
Better,
So, just throwing that out there.
well, like David said.
So make a motion, it's your turn.
You're gonna do that, nobody's gonna budge.
That's right.
We're not gonna accept the bid. I mean, if it's not
You're taking on
171,
the chin here.
171,000 to 200,000, I'm not, if we can't get our money back out of it, you're
Well,
just.
But it
obviously,
can be set on
Well,
a reserve, that if it don't match that, then it won't sell.
Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, if we set a reserve, and let's say we get 20 bids and nobody reaches reserve, then we can deem whatever we feel necessary to get rid of the property, correct?
What you can do.
Big sigh.
If you don't get what you're asking for on the bids, then there can be private negotiation.
Like, for example, you could list it through a realtor or something of that effect.
Okay, so we get a bid of 100,000. Is tourism gonna pick up that other 71,000?
Not with the financial status we're in right now.
That's what I'm saying, so
But
that
if
we.
Well, but we don't
then
have
we're-
to, we don't have to accept any
I
bid.
No,
understand.
if the reserve's set for 175,000 and you don't meet
I
that,
know
then
you
the
can't.
bid's then, okay, then.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, if,
What
But
about
I can tell you, if we get close, we'll make it happen. Because it is a money pit.
All right, I make a motion that we declare the Stafford House as surplus property.
I'll say.
And, okay, well, that was quick. I need to get some whole motion out.
good with that?
There has to be a written, we'll do a written statement.
1 and 2 and all that,
Well, no, it's not an ordinance, it's just a written
I don't know.
statement, just surplus property. It'll be in the record.
All in favor?
Yeah, we did. Some cars.
Opposed?
When it's taking hit tickets like that.
Opposed? Mr. Pack, he brought me some information, was it yesterday or Wednesday, Mr. Pack?
Thursday.
Thursday. This is a miscellaneous water system improvement?
Correct. We have certain parts of our system where we struggle to maintain adequate pressure, compliant pressure. We've begun development of an overall project to try to correct those. The total project is in the range of $2 million. Going through some things lately, particularly this weather we've had has exposed some of these weaknesses. And I've suggested we pull some parts of this larger project out and go ahead and get them done. If you look in the neighborhood of $341,000, that's based on estimates at this point. Has to be bid out, finish the engineering on it. But I've already been asked by the Division of Water if we can get these done this year.
Okay, let me go over with council. The number of projects for the total of that $2,010,000 is Hager Hill Community, Rocky Knob Road, Short and Fitch Branches, Blaine Hill area, Kentucky 581 and Baker Branch, Pack Hill Drive, and Pat Oprah Branch Road, correct?
Correct.
And the ones you're wanting to pull out to start on now at this time is Short Branch and Fitch Branch at Mealy, Blaine Hill area, and Kentucky Route 581 and Baker Branch, correct?
And also let you know that Hager Hill community, also one of our involves Starfire Hill, Ridgeway Drive. It's actually where I'm going to start.
And the commission, utility commission's already approved this.
Yes.
And how much is the amount again?
The amount for this project that he's wanting to do, looks like to me, is $340,000.
Estimate.
$341,000.
And this is for water only, right?
It is for water.
You're talking about fixing it to where their pressure's gonna be better, correct?
Where they have compliant pressure, yes. We're non-compliant at times in these areas.
I'm not against it, but
So installing pumps?
In one location, it would involve a pump. That's Blaine Hill. At Short and Fitch Branch, we have a high-pressure line goes through there, which we will need to tap that line and then reduce the pressure. 581 and Baker Branch, similar situation. We'll change some valving around, get the higher pressure in there, and then reduce it.
Now, when Mr. Pack brought this to me, and this may sound dumb, I asked him, I said, well, if your commission's already approved it, then why do we have to approve you spending your own money?
it makes no
Well,
sense.
they're borrowing money, right?
No,
No.
You're spending your own money?
we plan to use reserve funds.
Then I don't understand it. They have asked
Sean,
council.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that looks dumb in this situation.
Well, thank you, Coach.
But anything you do money, most
I thought,
people,
yeah,
wait a
they
minute,
just had to come
wait a
to
minute,
council
we
when they
just
wanted
did
to
this for
borrow
a certain
money.
amount that they do have to, isn't that right?
Yes.
They do have to have council approval over a certain amount.
To spend utility commission money.
Yes.
They're spending their own money, Coach.
Okay.
I know that, but it's,
All right,
Yeah, all right.
so I guess Mr. Pack is asking us to approve for him to spend his own money.
Well, it's our money too.
$340,000 or $341,000, correct? So,
I make a motion that we allow them to spend their own money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
second,
second.
all in favor? Opposed?
And we'll come back and let you know what the bids are along with it.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Now, also, a couple of things wasn't on the agenda is, as Miss Kim is working on the Carter Lane project, I need for you all to give me permission to sign loan papers and borrow the money if we have to buy those properties.
and And when it's all said and done, FEMA will reimburse us.
Yes, we just don't know exactly what the turnaround is gonna be. We don't know if it's gonna be a 30-day turnaround, a 60-day turnaround, or a 90-day turnaround.
Well, they've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, I so
Initially,
moved
that
that we
turnaround is-
give you
doesn't matter.
we give you that authorization to do that.
Okay, we got a motion.
I'll say.
All in favor?
I-
Opposed? Now, also, we've been doing, we had Joe's men go to the country club and clean out a couple of rooms, the upstairs rooms. You remember where the old kitchen was upstairs? And then there was another room right beside it. And we went in there and cleaned out those rooms, because what we're gonna do is try to make them more accessible for the ballroom, people using the ballroom.
Let me ask you a question about
Okay.
that. I've been in there one time in that apartment. Does it have a bathroom? It does.
Yes.
The apartment does. A coach used to live in it.
I know, but I said,
Sure did.
and we need another bathroom.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
well,
Man,
I don't know how the girls or ladies' bathroom, what kind of shape it's in up there,
Okay.
but it's small.
let me tell you what we got planned. We got planned of putting a bathroom downstairs, correct?
To the restaurant downstairs
Yes.
or,
To the restaurant downstairs, and also a men's and a women's bathroom upstairs.
Where's it gonna be located, Chief?
yeah.
It's going to be additional to the
One you got
ladies' restroom.
going toward the ballroom or coming toward the apartment?
Well, the ballroom side, the door that goes into the ballroom will be shut off. It'll be a wall, and then coming from the apartment side, you'll be able to go in and have men's on one side and ladies on the other.
And then there's gonna be is it a unisex bathroom downstairs? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
In
Is
that
outside
closet?
of the restaurant?
Yeah, there's a storage room down at the bottom of the steps, and there's going to be a unisex bathroom right
So there's
there.
actually gonna be 3 or 2 going, or one's already there, right?
Yeah,
The
one.
women's already there, so there's actually gonna be 2 more to go in.
I think that'll improve its ability to make money.
I do too. I do too. But what I'm gonna ask you is, that they took some stainless steel sinks.
They took a sink, a table, a range, countertops, just some kitchen accessories and appliances and stuff out of there.
Where I used to wash dishes, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Coach.
Yeah. Well, what I'm gonna ask you is, do you want us to surplus that?
Yeah.
Or do you want us to advertise that equipment to local people?
Really, what you have to surplus it,
Somebody will-
to sell it, to get rid of it.
Right.
Then you determine how you want to do it, if you want to put it on a website or advertise for bids.
And so I need a vote for them to go ahead and surplus the equipment, and then,
We don't have any use for it, might as well.
And some of it didn't work, Bill Meyer. One of those, that
Right.
refrigerator was broken and the stop part of the stove.
I make a motion to surplus the equipment at the country club
Second.
that we've just talked about.
Sarah seconded. All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Okay, open the council. Council have anything?
I have something I want to see. I'd like to see for the council and everyone do a town hall meeting. To set up for people to come, all the other groups, tourism, Trail Town. That way the community can come in at one time and sit down and ask questions and do like a community give back, do something for our community. Have like a barbecue or a cookout when the weather prevails for it.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, obviously, we open it up to the floor, as far as, having a town hall meeting. We have a town hall meeting every month, so, I mean, anybody's welcome to come, and maybe you're saying just to have some kind of food involved?
Well, have all the groups that are together, everybody, if somebody has a question that isn't directed to us, but is directed to tourism or Trail Town,
Oh, okay.
everybody, I mean, they're there to answer it for them. And also have like a community appreciation to let them know that we're thankful for the people here because they put us here.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And I'm assuming you'll want to have that to SIP.
Yes, sir.
And see if we're here. Or here.
And what you want to do is invite Main Street, Tourism, Trail Town, Chamber of Commerce,
Yes, sir.
and you'll want them to be on the stage,
Yes, sir.
and the public will be able to ask questions
Yes, sir.
to those directors.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any problem with that, if that's what the rest of the council would like to do.
That's fine.
We'll see.
All of you good with that? If all of you are good with that, then we'll put Miss Patricia in charge of setting that up.
Oh, there we go. I like that.
Let it warm up. a little
Good with it?
All right.
Mayor, I keep going back to this shooting Saturday. Can we set up a protocol, or I guess I had a flashback Saturday or something, back military days or something, of when that happened, you know, could they have notified you, maybe you notified the media, radio, WSCZ, YMT, and got that out, that we had an active shooter, Johnson County area, Paintsville area, for everybody would have known that that guy was on the loose? Because they got Mill Street and Mill Branch Road mixed up. You know, now it's not all South Side, it's Mill Branch Road. And I was headed to Pikeville, and my mother was by herself up there, so I had to turn and head back. I just think we need to do something. Hopefully it won't happen again, but that's
You never know.
the crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if we could, some kind of warning there to get that out the next time. If, pray God it don't happen, but
Do you want me to set up a meeting with our chief, Chief Rowe, and our sheriff?
yeah, if we can.
Pardon?
Yeah.
And Gary McClure, see if we can't get something worked out to where when something like that happens, all of a sudden it just boom, it
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
With social media today, man, you can put
I'd be out no time.
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy to do that.
Appreciate it.
Because I actually didn't know about that shooting until about 7 o'clock myself. So I won't go any farther with that. Anything else from council? Anything else from council?
no, sir.
Open to the floor. Anybody from the floor? Yes, sir.
One thing, I didn't know we were gonna talk about the Stafford House tonight, but about 6 or 7 years ago, what's my wife? She didn't even tell, anyway, 6 or 7 years ago, you had the Johnson County Extension Agency with Brenda Cochran and all those ladies, the homemakers. They're the ones that were the caretakers of that place. They stocked it with, there was an old harpsichord in there. I don't know if you were in there in those days. They even paid to have murals put on the walls and stuff like that. And when all this went down a few years back, when we bought it, they were kind of unceremoniously dumped out of there, and the place cleaned out and redone. But the extension agency, I think, would be somebody, maybe, you know, let Brenda know about that this is being done, because that's federal money, isn't it? That maybe they could somehow or other, I mean, they were having their meetings from all over Kentucky at that house. I mean, they had afternoon teas, they took tourists through, they provided their own volunteers to take people on tours over there. And one of the things about it not paying, I understand the problem that, you know, the financial problem that's been raised here, but maybe that's to approach them and see if there's anybody, if the extension agency wanted to get involved and maybe.
I'm one step ahead of you.
Oh, good.
I already talked to
You're just like
Brenda.
my wife.
They are, unfortunately, they're no longer in the financial situation to do that either.
Yeah.
I work very closely with Brenda.
Okay.
I know that back in the day there was grants and stuff, and that's a whole nother can. But I have explored different options. I've even thought about letting some other organization do it and just pay rent. But this is the best solution, I'm telling you.
Well, I hadn't heard about it, I hadn't heard mentioned, but thanks for enlightening me on that. That's great.
Okay, anything else from the floor?
Make a motion to adjourn.
So,
All in favor? Opposed? Stand adjourned.